Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 64th Annual General Meeting of the Registered Practical Nurses Association of Ontario, WeRPN. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Norma Tomlin, and I am the Director of Professional Practice at WeRPN. This evening, I'm honored to be your MC for our AGM. I would like to first acknowledge all of the Ontario Registered Practical Nurses for their dedication and resilience as you continue to deliver care across the continuum. I want to extend my heartfelt thank you to each of you and every one of you for all that you do and all that you have done for Ontario patients, residents, clients, as you continue to go above and beyond in your commitment to care. I would like to acknowledge several past presidents this evening of WeRPN who are taking place virtually in this AGM this evening. A special welcome to Gabriel Bridle, Brenda Mundy, Max Hamlin, Linda Curl, and Anne McKenzie. We also have several special guests attending this evening's, beginning with Dr. Karima Valji, Provincial Chief of Nursing and Professional Practice, Assistant Deputy Minister, Ministry of Health. Representing the College of Nurses tonight, Carol Timmings, CNO's Chief Quality Officer, and Raj Kaur, RPN, CNO's Vice President. I would also like to recognize all the educators and students who are joining us tonight, and thank you for your ongoing engagement with your professional association. I want to share some technical housekeeping details. Tonight's AGM has been set up on the Resolve Interactive platform, generously sponsored by Johnson Insurance. As an attendee, you can watch the presentation live and engage throughout the platform. If you require technical assistance, please use the tech support button. To increase the size of your screen, click on the gear button on the video player and select a different bitrate. For the AGM discussion period, members will have the opportunity to share any questions using the Ask a Question function at the top right of the screen. Questions will go to the moderator and will be addressed during the Q&A portion of the presentation. Following the AGM, you will be provided with a link to complete a short evaluation survey. Tonight's agenda is as follows. 7 to 8 p.m., our AGM business will take place. At 8 to about 8:45, we will move into our Inspirational Awards of Excellence ceremony. To begin our evening, we are pleased to share greetings from both the federal and provincial chief nursing officers. I'm pleased to introduce our first greeting from the provided by our newly appointed federal chief nursing officer, Health Canada, Dr. Lee Chapman.
My name is Lee Chapman, and I'm the Chief Nursing Officer for the Government of Canada. On behalf of Health Canada, I am pleased to be here virtually to celebrate WeRPN's AGM in celebration and acknowledgement of the vital contribution that RPNs make to the health of Ontarians every day. The COVID-19 pandemic has been exceptionally hard on all frontline workers, nurses in particular, and I want to express my thanks to WeRPN members on their key work in caring for patients, clients, residents, and families during this critical time. Canada has over 400,000 nurses in 4 different categories of registration from coast to coast to coast, including registered nurses, registered psychiatric nurses, licensed practical nurses or registered practical nurses in Ontario, and nurse practitioners. Despite the regional, provincial, territorial differences across our great nation, I firmly believe that we have more in common than we have differences. We are one profession, and when Canadians think about the healthcare system, they do not think about the differences between different categories of nursing registration. They care that they have access to healthcare, and they care about the outcomes of that care. We know that nurses are a key component in sustaining our publicly funded healthcare system, which is something Canadians take great pride in. I encourage all RPNs in Ontario to join WeRPN as their professional association. It is an important part of your engagement in the nursing profession and a key way to find out about all of the opportunities available to RPNs. These include opportunities such as the Nursing Education Initiative, the Bridging Educational Grant in Nursing or Begin career laddering option, or the Recruitment and Retention Initiative for RPNs who commit to working in the retirement home sector. Despite the current challenges we are facing in terms of the health workforce, know that you have a champion of all nurses within the federal government. I hope to meet some of you in the coming months and want to express my thanks to you once again for your service day in and day out in caring for Ontarians. Thank you for including me in your AGM, and congratulations to all of the award recipients.
It is now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Karima Valji, Provincial Chief of Nursing and Professional Practice, Assistant Deputy Minister, Ministry of Health.
Hi, everyone. I could not hear that introduction, but I think I need to now speak. Can someone just give me a go ahead? It's the wonders of technology, I think.
Yes, you can go ahead.
Could I go ahead? Okay, wonderful. Good evening, everyone. It's such a pleasure for me to be here, and I thank WeRPN for inviting me to bring greetings to you. I want to start by acknowledging the land on which we gather. So I'm speaking to you from Ajax, Ontario. This land is situated within the traditional and treaty territory of the Mississauga, more specifically the Mississauga of the Squamish Island First Nation. This land is and will continue to be home to the Indigenous peoples. Let us acknowledge the mistakes and traumas of the past through authenticity and support truth and reconciliation. It truly is a pleasure for me to bring greetings to you from the Ministry of Health in Ontario. As some of you may know, the role that I have now, the Chief of Nursing and Professional Practice, is a new role. It is an Assistant Deputy Minister role in Ontario, and for the very first time in our history of the Ministry of and in Ontario, the role has been placed, the nursing leader has been placed at the right level. I feel in the structure of the ministry at the ADM level equal to other files in the ministry, and the two big areas of responsibility that have been placed on me now and the division that I will work with are the capacity plan for Ontario, which means the future of the healthcare system in Ontario, and what is that going to look like, and how do we need to build those evidence-based capacities for seniors who are aging, for people with mental health and addiction issues, for all the populations that we serve, using very innovative and evidence-based models. And then alongside that, an integrated health human resources plan, all with the idea of looking at 10 years ahead. With a 10-year horizon in mind, how do we build that future together while we deal with the issues, and particularly the health human resource issues of today that are really called to us, and certainly they call to me. I think it's very right for me to first say to you how proud I am of you as a group of RPNs. Like other nurses, you have, it's the work that you do every day that has to be applauded. The work you've done during the pandemic, there could not be enough words to thank you for all the contributions that you've made as nurses in Ontario to care for the people who desperately needed a care from nurses. But you, as a group of RPNs, my observation would be certainly your education, your critical knowledge, skill, all of that has moved in such a significant way forward. And you have embraced what I would call the blue oceans of nursing. The way I see RPNs aligning themselves to the population that is aging, our elders, to the population who are suffering from mental health and addiction issues, people in the community, people in the home care sector, folks, that is the future of healthcare. More and more, we will have to build community-based solutions to care because we won't be able to afford the healthcare system of tomorrow if we don't do that. You are ahead of the curve. You've embraced those elements, those blue oceans of nursing in very profound ways. And I am acknowledging that, and I'm very proud of you for that. The power of nursing is like no other. Never in our history have we found ourselves with such opportunity for nursing. One, our sheer numbers. There are 5 nurses for every physician in Ontario and Canada. There are 150,000, over 150,000 nurses in Ontario alone. So we are very powerful in our numbers because we touch healthcare in most numbers in terms of all other healthcare professionals. We also have power in the trust the public has in us, in polls after polls that are done of the public to say, who do you trust amongst various professions? Nursing comes out in the top 2 or 3 professions that the public has high trust in. We are the most educated workforce that we've been in our history of nursing now. We are embedded in every sector in healthcare, and we touch healthcare on a 24/7 basis. If you think of all of those amazing privileges that we have as nurses in the system, the opportunity to create that future of tomorrow, the healthcare system of tomorrow, is like we would be the architects of that if we choose to be. We have much work to do to align ourselves so that we become those architects for the future healthcare system, because at times the divisions in nursing don't serve us well. We don't embrace the unity, the alignment we should have to move forward together so that the focus is always on the people that we have to serve. And we find ourselves now in this difficult place of we have to invent the future, but we have some real HHR challenges that we have to deal with here and now. So there are many initiatives that are underway in the traditional recruitment, retention, return basket, if you will. You know, we've added more seats than we've added ever in a short period of time to prepare more nurses for the future. The bridging programs are alive and well, such as the Begin program, which are bridging PSW to RPN, RPN to RN programs. The retention programs are in place around Learn and Stay, for example. That if you choose to learn and stay in communities that are of high need, then all your tuition, for example, would be covered by the government. Many, many such initiatives. When I counted this, I started my work in August. There are 12 significant recruitment and retention initiatives that are underway. But I am a nurse, and I choose to be very honest when I'm speaking with anyone, but particularly with nurses. I have to tell you, it is late in the game. The initiatives are very good. We should have started to work on those 10 years ago. The signals were there 10 years ago that the shortage was coming. It was coming. We had predictions of the numbers we are facing those many years ago. But the political will, the pandemic hadn't hit, things hadn't been brought out to the open, the stars hadn't aligned. So here we are, trying to fix the gaps in health human resources as we come out of the pandemic. And we are still living through it, by the way. So that's the dilemma. It's 10 years too late. And whatever we are doing is filling some gaps in the system that we have and the gaps of health human resource that we have. But it's not enough. So the answer will be not only in recruitment and retention. We will never recruit and retain our way through the numbers we have to fill today, but the needs of the population tomorrow and the gaps we will have in HHR tomorrow. So the answer will lie in innovation and in workforce optimization. And by that, I mean everyone working to their top scope of practice. And I hope we don't get in each other's way in nursing as we embrace this idea of unleashing the scope of practice of RPNs, of nurse practitioners, of RNs, anyone, pharmacy, EMS, everyone. Because if we did that today, we would immediately increase the capacity in the system. And I'd rather spend my time enabling that than standing in anyone's way to not allow that to happen. So I'm going to pay a lot of attention to that as your chief nurse in Ontario. And I know many of you, and Diane in particular, she's spoken to me about this, Diane Martin, that you are interested as an RPN group to pursue RPN initiation, independent initiation of various nursing skills and judgments in certain settings with certain populations. You will have a supporter in me. You will do it. Because we need every hand on deck working at the top level. We have to embrace that. And we will have to embrace team-based care. The answer lies in team-based care and an integrated approach to thinking. Siloed thinking does not work anymore. It's the thinking of the past. Recruitment and retention alone will not work. We have to embrace optimization and embrace this idea of silos will have to be gone. We'll have to work in integrated ways, not only across our professional disciplines, but across the sectors of care as well. The work is going to be profound. However, the crisis of the pandemic has shown up this opportunity and the ability to take risks and the ability to make investments in health human resources is like at no other time. The opportunities are in front of us. We have to walk through those doors and windows, folks, because doors and windows close. And if we don't realize the opportunity we can realize now, it will be an opportunity lost. So I look forward to working with every one of you. And I know you'll be standing by my side, giving me advice, challenging my thinking. I'll be turning to you. I've started all my frontline nursing roundtables. I did the second one today. And the advice I'm getting from point of care nurses, wow, that's where the wisdom lies. It's the patients we serve, the families we serve, and the nurses who look after them and other team members. That's where the real wisdom is. And I'm going to tap that gold out of the gold mine. Because from a very selfish perspective, I need you. I need you informing what we need to do, because in the collective wisdom will be our answers together. So I wish you all the best with your AGM. Congratulations in advance to all the award winners. I looked at them in your program. It's very phenomenal to see the kinds of awards that you have in place and the people who are going to win them today. All the best to you, and I really look forward to working together. Take care.
Thank you, Karima, for that very inspirational greeting. We really appreciate that. I would like to acknowledge our sponsor, Johnson Insurance, who has helped to make tonight possible. I have the pleasure of sharing a message from our sponsor.
Hello, everyone. My name is Max Mercer, Home and Auto Consultant.
And my name is Chantal Pallone, Senior Consultant at Johnson Insurance.
We just wanted to start off by saying thank you on behalf of Johnson Insurance for the opportunity to be this year's AGM sponsor. We're honored to have the privilege to speak to you all today.
We truly value our partnership with WeRPN and recognize the incredible work that you do, especially over the last few years. As nurses, you take care of people. Johnson Insurance wants to take care of you with access to friendly service, comprehensive coverage, and discounted rates on your home, car, and travel insurance.
We're excited about what the future holds as we move forward together. We'd like to invite you to visit our website, WeRPN.johnson.ca, to enter for a chance to win one of 12 cash prizes of $2,500.
Thank you for all that you are and all that you do, and thank you for trusting Johnson to be there for you as your preferred insurance partner over the last 10 years.
Up next, we have a video we'd like to share featuring our furry friend, Johnson the dog.
Thank you so much for your support for all of Ontario's RPNs. At this time, it gives me pleasure to introduce Suzanne Schell, WeRPN's president, to open up tonight's AGM.
Thank you, Norma. And good evening, everyone. My name is Suzanne Schell, and I am the president of the Registered Practical Nurses Association of Ontario, also known as WeRPN. We would like to begin this evening by acknowledging that WeRPN is located on the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe peoples. With this, we respect the long-standing relationship that Indigenous nations have to this land, as they are the original caretakers. We acknowledge historical and ongoing injustices that First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people endure in Canada, and we accept responsibility as a professional organization to contribute toward revealing and correcting misinformation, as well as reviewing and renewing respectful relationships with Indigenous communities through our teaching, research, care provisions, and community service. I am now delighted to welcome everyone to our virtual 64th Annual General Meeting of the Registered Practical Nurses Association of Ontario. Members were notified about the 64th Annual AGM in accordance with the association bylaws through electronic email to all members and posted on the WeRPN member-only website and in the spring issue of the We Are Practical Nursing magazine. The quorum required for an annual general meeting is 25 members, and I have been advised that we have quorum. Therefore, I declare this annual general meeting is duly constituted and can proceed. Now, I am pleased to introduce the 2021-2022 WeRPN Board of Directors. I will begin with myself, Suzanne Schell, President, President-elect Dickon Worsley, Lindsay Pentland, Region 1, Victoria Bertrand, Region 2, James Philby Richards, Region 3, Region 4 is vacant, Sharon Hunter, Region 5, Deborah Cowie, Region 6, Region 7 is vacant, Angela Corneal, Member at Large, Lydia Mead, Student Board Member. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2021-2022 Board of Directors. I would now like to acknowledge and thank the WeRPN staff. It is thanks to the dedication of this team that WeRPN members and non-members benefit from a broad range of programs, services, and advocacy. Thank you. In preparation for the AGM, all members were notified that electronic voting for all agenda items would occur prior to the 64th AGM. That notification was issued in the We Are Practical Nurses Journal Fall Edition 2022. As a result, no proxies were required. To provide members with the opportunity to exercise the one member, one vote process for the year's virtual AGM, access to online voting was made available. Voting opened October 7th and closed October 18th, 2022. Members were asked to vote on the following items: approval of the standing rules for the 2022 AGM, approval of the minutes for the 2021 AGM, approval of the audited financial statement for the fiscal year 2021-2022, approval of the auditor for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2023, approval of bylaw amendment. The total member votes received was 95. No votes were deemed invalid, and thank you to all of our members who participated. In your virtual delegate packages and posted on the members only section of the WeRPN website, you will find the proposed standing rules for the 2022 AGM. Members were asked to vote online to accept the standing rules for the 64th virtual AGM. Approval was received by the voting members to accept the standing rules for the 64th AGM. Copies of the minutes of the 63rd AGM were made available to members in advance of the AGM on the members only section of the website. Members were asked to vote to accept the minutes for the 63rd AGM held on October 27, 2021. Approval was received by the voting members to accept the minutes for the 63rd AGM, October 27, 2021. And now I'd like to take this opportunity to say a few words in my capacity as president. Just give me a minute. This will be my final presidential address, and perhaps the hardest one I've ever written. I've been on the board now for 7 years. It's funny how life takes you on journeys. I've had no intentions of actually joining the board, but was asked to consider it. So I thought about it and decided, why not? So soon after I joined, imposter syndrome set in. And I noticed how intelligent the other board members were. I had the pleasure of learning from such incredible leaders, including Anne McKenzie, Max Hamlin, and my predecessor, Linda Curl. I watched and I learned so much and have grown in both my professional and my personal life. And it goes without saying that I will miss the fabulous board members, some of whom have come and gone, but I now feel so fortunate because I have such wonderful friends all across Ontario. Then I became president and imposter syndrome returned. To make matters worse, the pandemic hit. My entire presidency was during the outbreak. I've missed seeing you all face to face and hearing your stories. That was my favorite part of the AGM, was seeing you. I followed you as you struggled. I've seen your perseverance and I've admired your dedication to your patients, residents, and clients. And I'm so proud of you and all that you have accomplished. I loved this organization before I joined the board. Before I joined the board, I loved it. And now I'm totally infatuated. I've had the pleasure of watching it grow. I've seen its inner workings and getting to know some of the people behind the scenes. You can't imagine the hard work and dedication and devotion those individuals demonstrate on a regular basis for you, Ontario RPNs. Thank you all. I love you all from the bottom of my heart. I would also like to acknowledge our CEO, Diane Martin. Diane, you worked so hard for us all and built an amazing team. You are respected by other healthcare leaders and by government officials. Your voice is respectfully heard. I admire you and I respect you. Thank you for all that you have done. And on a personal note, thank you for your friendship. In closing, thank you, Ontario RPNs, for your courage, your strength, resilience, and tenacity. I believe things will improve. Small steps lead to big shifts, and we were only just beginning. Look where we are now compared to where we were 5 to 10 years ago. We have come so far, and always remember that you are backed by an association and a board of directors that is working tirelessly to ensure your voice is heard through advocacy, programming, and providing forums for discussion and support and shared experiences. I encourage you to stay involved with WeRPN, become part of the board of directors, join our Facebook Live events, and take advantage of the learning opportunities that WeRPN has to offer. This organization is truly amazing, and I wish you all the best. So now I will ask my board colleagues to update our membership on a number of items. We will begin with the Education Trust Fund report, and I will ask Dickon Worsley, President-elect, to present this report.
Thank you, Suzanne. As Chair, I am pleased to share the report on the Education Trust Fund. The ETF receives a $1 contribution per year from each member and donations from other donors. As of June 30th, 2022, total contributions received $17,435, of which membership contributions amounted to $16,435. And the balance of contributions received from the special interest group donations for the fiscal year 2021-2022. The ETF awards funds to selected students enrolled in the practical nurse programs at Ontario colleges. In December 2021, 12 students were provided with bursaries of $1,000 for a total of $12,000. Thank you, and that concludes my report on the Education Trust Fund.
Thank you, Dickon. Once again, we congratulate all our special interest groups for the dedication to nursing and their contributions to best practice. Special interest groups provided videos and reports to membership in advance of the AGM. Reports were available on the WeRPN website on October 10th, 2022. I encourage you to visit our website to learn more about the SIG activities from the past year. We look forward to the report again next year. I would now like to ask Diane to provide her CEO report on 2021-2022 and give us a glimpse of the future of WeRPN.
Thank you, Suzanne. So nice to be here with everyone tonight. And I would echo what Suzanne had to say about the just disappointment that we have every year right now when we can't gather as a large group. That day of connecting with Ontario's RPNs has always been incredibly special and important to all of us. And every year I say to our board, I think next year's the year. We're going to gather together in a group and we're going to get back into the time when we meet with as many RPNs as possible in person, having a good time, but also a serious time. So let's hope that that's next year. But for this year, I'm here to give you a report on the year 2021-22. First of all, I want to acknowledge that the two nurses that brought us greetings in the beginning, Lee Chapman, first of all, recently chosen the federal chief nurse. And I don't know how many of you know this, but we were a long time with no nursing representation at the federal level. And now, not only do we have a federal chief nurse, but we have one who has long been a friend of WeRPN. In fact, Lee is a WeRPN award winner, President's Award winner for the work that she has done in Ontario with marginalized groups and the ways in which she has supported RPNs to reach above and beyond themselves in her work prior to this role. When you think about them choosing a leader from all across Canada, and then you realize that, you know, they chose someone that we already love and have a great relationship with. We're incredibly fortunate. And then Karima Velji, chosen as the new provincial chief nurse in a role that's elevated to the assistant deputy minister level. We could not be more thrilled. Karima Velji is new in the role, just a matter of months, but she has been a friend of WeRPN for a long time as well. She has shown an incredible understanding of the role of RPNs in her previous roles, where I have visited her. She's actually I would consider a good friend in her previous roles, where she has elevated RPNs to really important levels and always connects the barriers faced by nurses to patient outcomes. And I have a lot of hope. And when I saw Karima take over this role, I think we should all know that that's going to be a real asset to us at the government level. So thank you so much, Karima, for that. One quick word about our sponsor, Johnson Insurance, because we also love them. Go and do the inquiry thing that you need to do to be recognized or your name put in for the prizes. One time they gave a $10,000 prize to an RPN, and they very graciously allowed me in on the contacting of that RPN to let her know, going to her house so that I could give her the big $10,000 check. So Johnson Insurance loves RPNs, and I just love that's what they do. So thank you very much for that. So I'm going to start off my report by talking first, as I always do, about our membership numbers, because we are member funded, and members are our funding source, but they're also the purpose of our work. So I'll start with the membership numbers. Each new membership allows us to grow the impact that we have on behalf of all RPNs. Over the past year, we continued our sustained membership growth. Our previous membership Our membership last year grew to 16,647. That's an increase of 93 members compared to the previous year. 15,251 were non-student members, and 1,396 were student members, and that's an excellent number for student members. We do have 2 colleges, Humber and George Brown, who join all of their students to members of WeRPN to indicate an understanding in the importance of professionalism within their nursing students. So I deeply appreciate that. Membership's never been more important, and the importance of the number of membership. I'm going to talk more about this when we talk when I talk about advocacy, but the membership numbers. One of the recent surveys we did, which I'll also be talking about when we talk about advocacy, told us that some RPNs don't really know what difference their individual membership makes to the association. And what I will tell you is, in many ways, the size of your organization determines the amount of impact that you can have in Ontario. For example, sometimes the Ministry of Health will call, and a staff member from the Ministry of Health will say, how many members do you have right now? And so we tell them, and I know why they're asking. They're thinking about doing something, and they want to know, if it's something good, how many RPNs are they making happy, WeRPN members, and how many WeRPN members will they be making angry if it's something else. But it's just, that is the most basic example I can tell you about why membership's important. And sure enough, last year we grew in membership, which is becoming more of a challenge across Canada for professional associations. However, our members are strong and are very invested in what they do as nurses, and they really want to support as much as possible. As I said, there'll be more about that in a few minutes. There's lots of numbers that help us track, that help us sort of ascertain how much impact and engagement we are having from practical nurses. And these numbers are also very important to us, along with the membership numbers. Let's look at some of those numbers. So 1.26 million people visited our website. To me, that number astounded me. I knew a lot of people went, but I had no idea it was that many. We gave 4 new grad workshops. We don't charge for those. New grads are welcome to come, and if it's virtual, come online and take part in our very best advice in obtaining the actual job you want. 119 nurses participated in online education courses. 4,000 plus total users used our workplace violence toolkit, also free for you to use. 34.6 thousand followers on all of our social media platforms, which is incredibly important to us. 10,000 users accessed our de-escalation toolkit. Incredibly valuable in every single facet of healthcare. I spent my clinical life as a labor and delivery and postpartum nurse. And if you don't think the words de-escalating went on during that job, there absolutely was. Sometimes it might have been between a nurse and a physician, but anyway, de-escalating skills are required by every single nurse, and 10,000 plus took our part in our toolkit, and in doing so, will have changed the healthcare environment in some way. 69 presentations by the incredible practical nursing staff that go to the colleges in Ontario to speak to classrooms of practical nursing students. 69 of those presentations. 1,400 registrants for monthly webinars. We gave away 12 student bursaries of $1,000 each to the Education Trust Fund. We had 14,000 plus people accessing our Career Directions Toolkit, where you can find supports from creating a resume to interview skills to scanning the environment to find exactly the place that's right for you in terms of work. 477 Begin program applicants, and I'll be talking more about the Begin program shortly. The $1,500 a year in professional development grants for the education initiative. There were many thousands of people who received portions of those. So we feel like we are very engaged in making a difference in the lives of nurses and, even more importantly, the patients that they take care of. Traditionally, we have created a journal that goes out to you. We have always offered it in print and digital. We release it twice a year. This past year, there's one in the mail for you right now. And it, as I said to the creators of the journal on our staff, it might be our best journal ever. So whether you have chosen to receive it online, which is an option we offer to you, or whether you're going to get it in the mail, we urge you to read every article in there. There are articles featuring nurses. There are articles featuring, most importantly, patients who have been kind enough to tell us the stories of what it's like to be a patient during a nursing shortage. And those sorts of stories are incredibly important. This past spring, though, when we sent out the journal, there was a supply chain issue where we couldn't get paper. It was the first time at WeRPN we had experienced the supply chain issues, and everybody got it by email so that you could click on it to read it, which is actually a lot cheaper, probably more environmentally friendly. What we did find, though, was that a very small percentage of our members clicked on that journal to read it. So we know that we need to continue to offer you the choice of a paper or an electronic version of the journal so that you can know the sorts of things that are going on. And like I said, the journal that's coming out to you now, please take a look at that. I think there's some heartfelt, amazing stories within that journal. To build and sustain meaningful engagement with RPNs across the province, we began monthly Facebook Live events. In those Facebook Live events, we are now, in the beginning, it was always about COVID, what's going on with COVID, how are we managing COVID, what would you like us to advocate for during the pandemic. And now we generally tend to have a topic for each of the Facebook Lives. And I enjoy those because it's an opportunity for you to ask any question you like. And I have never been asked a question. You're going to be asked to give some questions as soon as I'm done here, if you like. But I've never been asked a question that I shied away from. I think that is absolutely your role, is to question me as CEO on the issues related to the association. I was always kind of wondering, am I coming to you too often? So we asked that question, how often do you want a Facebook Live? And some people said every week. And I thought, whoa, that's a lot. But basically what we found out is the majority would like to see and have access to ask me questions at least once a month. And we are working very hard to ensure that there is a Facebook Live once a month now with a topic, but I do take any of the questions that you have. And I've got a bit of a cold, so I'm sorry about this. It's not COVID. I've tested, just so you all know. I'm putting my board at risk here. But use those opportunities as a chance to become very engaged with me and with our association. And I sometimes don't get to all the questions, but I always read them, and I know that I need to adjust my messages to cover those topics. We recently launched our onboarding email. So anyone who's a new member will be getting sort of a different package when you onboard now for incoming members. And I think that that's going to go a long way to helping people understand better what it is we do at WeRPN. Social media continued to be an important way to stay connected with RPNs throughout Ontario. Notably, we had a 7% increase year over year from 2020. Posts and unique content increased by 44%. So in other words, we're putting out a lot more information for you. And our clicks increased by 172%. So hopefully that means not only is there more information, but it's more interesting. And we, just so you know, we read every single one of your comments and take them to heart. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a moment. We were pleased to see from March to July 22nd, our analytics increased on all fronts. And we are excited to learn that the content that resonated most with our members, and with the analytics that we can do now, certainly we can see which posts were just moderately read by people and which ones were shared the most, commented on the most, had the most likes, had the most emojis added. And that's meaningful to us because there is no one way that we can listen to you and get everybody's voice heard. So we pay close attention to all of those things. One of our most important roles, and the reason we know it's most important is because you tell us that it is advocacy. We advocate for you in many ways. We advocate for you and your role with employers, and particularly in terms of scope of practice and various ways that RPNs can practice that will enhance patient care. And our role is not collective agreements. We actually leave those to our very good friends in the unions. We value probably most our advocacy that we do with the government on your behalf. We're active participants in Ontario's long-term care COVID-19 commission process, putting forward several recommendations for new staffing models, innovative ways to recruit and retain more nurses, and plans to enhance excellence in long-term care. Probably should have a Facebook Live on that. One of the issues with when we really talk in depth about long-term care and its incredible importance and the difference that practical nurses make in long-term care is that we do hear from our acute care nurses that sometimes they feel that we're not spending enough time on acute care nurses. Trust me, we are. We're advocating for all of you. I think our friends in long-term care are particularly suffering in terms of the ability to not just attract nurses, but to use them in an appropriate manner that creates roles for RPNs that are most effective for the residents, but also most rewarding for the nurses. We've maintained active stakeholder roles on crucial government committees. If there's a nursing government committee, we are included. Registered practical nurses are now recognized as being vital within the system. I know what you're saying out there right now. I know you're saying, really? Because I'm not feeling recognized. I'm getting to that. But when the government strikes a committee, absolutely, WeRPN is included, and we work very hard. I'm on many of the committees. The RPN staff at the association is on are each on committees, and we work really hard to make sure that your voice is heard at every single one of those committees. Anytime someone says, well, here's what we're going to do with the RNs and no mention of the RPNs, literally people will turn at the table and look at us as if to say, okay, I give like 10 seconds and we're going to hear from that group. But we make sure that you are up front and center at all of those committees. And we really have reached a point now where the government is very conscious of the value that we bring, the common sense of our voice, and our ability to appreciate everyone at the table, and we are not ever excluded. We have worked on the Staffing Accelerator Working Group, the Clinical Preceptor Working Group, and we have also been advocating for improved access to education, professional development, and streamlining bridging education for RPNs who are interested in laddering to the RPN role. So we not only ask for a great deal of support and more seats for bridging. Right now, there's more nurses that want to bridge than there is seats, which causes the marks to get into the bridging programs to be very high, sometimes in the 90s. So we've asked for more seats to help resolve that. But we've also been working so hard on trying to help the roles of the amount of education you have recognized as an RPN recognized so that your BSCN program, should you want to career ladder, could be shorter. For those of you who, like me, are a certificate RPN, we're also working hard to present to those that might be educational institutions that might be thinking about revamping their way they bridge, that certificate RPNs be allowed to have demonstration of skills the same way that we are now allowing internationally educated nurses to do when they come into our country. We think that's an important step forward and one that we are going to continue to talk about a great deal. We know that wages have been top of mind for many RPNs. Wages primarily is a union role, and in normal world, we're able to really focus on the non-wages issues. But we are at a point now where, although I would tell you right now, I think our unions are doing a very good job of working very hard to keep that at the front of all discussions. I think we're at a point now where professional associations also have to join together to say this is not okay about the wages. For months, we urged the government to extend the $3 an hour pandemic pay top-up awarded to PSWs to nurses as well. We put forth the recommendation that the government should establish a minimum wage for RPNs that is proportional to RNs. It seems incredibly counterintuitive to think that a practical nurse's wages should be closer to a PSW, and nobody loves PSWs and values them more than practical nurses, as you all know and tell me on a regular basis. But our work is as a nurse, and our role is closer to that of an RN, and yet our wages are very close to that of a PSW. And that is so counterintuitive and so non-recruitment oriented. It's an unethical situation, and it's shameful. And we will continue to bring that piece forward. During the election time, we had many meetings with government, with politicians, who literally said to us, we've got to fix that for RPNs. We, I think, did a great job of saying, this is what it looks like to be an RPN in terms of pay and recognition on the job. And many of them said, we've got to fix that. And my question is right now, when are we going to do that? When is that happening? Because when you were running for office, we had a pretty strong agreement that that needed to be fixed. I'm going to talk more about that in a second. So as I said, we have had regular engagement with key decision makers, several public statements and media pieces, which I'll be sharing with you shortly, a little bit about those media pieces. We continue to build bridges, and we urge that RPNs receive the recognition they deserve. Lots of work has been done. As Karima mentioned, there are many really great recruitment initiatives going on right now, exceptional initiatives, and we deeply appreciate them because all of us know that we need more people to work with. But Karima, who is probably the most straightforward speaking person that I've seen in the government for a very long time, recognized that we've got a lot to do, and we have to be very forthright about it. And we need to put a lot more effort into retaining the nurses we already have, who really are the jewel in our crown, the ones that have been working in our system long enough to gain experience and know exactly the ins and outs of how it works. It would be a very, very, it's already happening. It would be a very unfortunate world if we were to let them go. In May 2022, we conducted a comprehensive survey titled The State of Nursing, a 2022 review, because whenever we bring your message in advocacy to government and others, what we do is we make sure that we're telling your exact stories, that we're telling exactly what you have told us. In 2020, we did a survey. We did the very same survey in 2022, and I want to talk to you a little bit about what changed during those 2 years. In total, over 760 RPNs across the province were polled. As a follow-up to the December 2020 survey, this survey measured the conditions of provincial healthcare systems through the eyes of those caring for the public on the front lines every day. These findings capture a declining situation for nursing professionals in Ontario. You can see some of the statistics on this slide of this, but I'm just going to share some of them with you. Alarmingly, 68% said they do not have enough time or resources to adequately care for patients. So let me put that to you a different way. 68% of nurses say their patients are not adequately cared for. And we've done our best in our journal that's coming out, and certainly when we speak to people, to describe what that looks like from a patient perspective. They've taken on more patients as a result of increasing nurse-to-patient ratios. I think it's important to recognize that many, many nurses, both RNs and RPNs in Ontario today, have double the number of patients they used to have and are scared every day. They're tired. They're working very hard. They have no breaks. They're working on their days out, but they are also scared. You can tell I'm really upset about this. 87% said they've had to take on more responsibilities in their role, and 84% have been asked to take on additional shifts and work overtime. This is also impacting nurses' mental health. In fact, a staggering 86% admitted that their mental health has been adversely affected by the work they do. To compensate for growing workloads, 83% of respondents reported regularly missing breaks and meals. Shockingly, 4 in 5 nurses have experienced moral distress on the job. It's an emotional state that arises from situations where nurses feel that the ethically correct action to take, differs from what they are being tasked to do. So you have nurses, and nurses, all of you are nurses, you know in our education what the degree to which ethics becomes part of our being. And then these nurses are asked to be outside of that ethical approach every day in their work. Can you imagine the mental burden that puts on a nurse? Almost half of the surveyed RPNs that we spoke to are considering leaving this critical profession. 79% admitted they've experienced a breaking point in their job. And that's up from 71% 2 years ago. An important catalyst for this dissatisfaction is wage stagnation. Imagine being asked to do double the work and not be allowed to negotiate any pay raise above 1%. Whenever we have a shortage of any worker in Ontario, plumber, guess what it costs to get the plumbing done in your house? When we have a shortage of 2x4s, they become very expensive because that's how we manage that situation. When we have a shortage of nurses and we want them to continue to show up and do double the work, we have to address their wages. I had a nursing leader say to me, but is it really the wages? And it took me a while to talk explain why. But I said, it is the wages. It is, because the sacrifice and the hurt is so big, and there has to be a reason to put yourself out there. It would stop the loss of nurses, and then we could start rebuilding the workplace so that new nurses would stay. So it is the first step that we have to take, not the last step. And now we have to get to that work. An overwhelming majority of RPNs, 91% in fact, believe they are unfairly compensated for their work. So that's basically everyone. That's a message that we've brought far and wide, and I'm going to show you that in a moment. In 2020, this is the most hurtful statistic. In 2020, 67% of RPNs said they've never been prouder to be a nurse. Less than 2 years later, this statistic has tragically plummeted to just 36%. 36% of nurses say they've never been more proud to be a nurse. And that should concern all of us, because that is vast changes within a profession when that sort of experience has happened and resulted in nurses being so demoralized by their workplace. My president asked me to please inject some hope into this, so don't worry, Suzanne, I will, by the end of this, but I think we have to plain talk about what's actually going on. So when this results of this survey came out, I did a number of media interviews. I'm going to say probably 30 media interviews, TV, radio, still doing interviews, but there was a large push. The press were very interested in the results of this. We've created a short video to show you a little bit of a taste of what that looked like. So if we could just run that video, please.
We are at a point now where nurses are saying there is a limit of time that I can take this on.
A new study released by the Registered Practical Nurses Association of Ontario suggests patient care is being compromised due to the ongoing staff shortages.
It's like we see a tsunami coming, and we're not understanding why everyone isn't doing everything they can to react in ways that will take care of patients. We need everyone in Ontario to be concerned about this situation.
86% of them admitted their mental health is adversely affected by what they do. This has told us about the physical effects on their bodies from working 16-hour shifts.
There are many of those interviews that are available for you, and we didn't pretty up the story at all. We made the public aware that this is a significant issue. I want to say one last thing about advocacy to nurses as part of a profession. It's been a very difficult time for nurses, and nurses are uniformly telling us what their struggles are and what would make them stay. And that's across sectors, that's across Ontario. We are uniformly hearing the same things. There's been a shocking increase in workload, and it is increasing rapidly as nurses say, I'm not going to continue to do this after 3 years of a 1% raise when I am now doing the work of myself and someone else. The ability to negotiate a wage is tantamount to the inability to basically showing RPNs that their place in the world, nurses, that their place in the world of healthcare is one that can be taken for granted, and that we can continue to pile on the workload. And then we can adopt an attitude that this is normal, that the level of having to work to this degree is normal. We all agree that there is a single first step to resolving that, and that is to get rid of Bill 124 and allow nurses to negotiate a wage that will allow them to be retained within the workplace, to be paid for the level and amount of work that they do. I have a personal opinion that that's a pretty significant increase in pay. So I look at all the other nursing groups and I look at their approach, and all of us are changing our approaches all the time, because no matter what we do, we are not able to move that dial on getting this change to happen. Incredibly frustrating. And I look at our friends at RNAO. They were very angry with government late during the election time because of the impact on nurses. We were meeting with politicians, doing our very best to say these things need to be changed. We've evolved now where RNAO has met with the government. We are putting out messages of being very disillusioned. All of us are trying everything. The unions are doing a great job. There are individuals out there who are choosing to take this on themselves. Instagram accounts, Facebook pages. Some of you may know what I'm talking about. That's many different approaches to this. But one of the things that happens universally when nurses become incredibly frustrated is, and this is historic, this isn't new, but nurses, when pressurized to a certain point, start to blame each other. And this is, to me, the biggest barrier to being a super strong profession. Certainly, as the situation has gotten worse and we have not been able to get anyone to resolve the situation, the attacks on WeRPN have increased. Personal attacks on me have increased. I'm okay with it. I'm pretty resilient that way. I think I have my own little set of people. I was going to say trolls, but it's a very unkind statement. But people who aren't members, but do level a lot of criticism. But more concerning is the people who post, everybody, should cancel your memberships with RNAO, with RPNAO. Let's talk about how much we hate our union. Can you imagine how delighted people who are scared of a strong nursing voice must be when we get frustrated to the point where we start fighting within ourselves, as opposed to ramping up the degree to which we support each other? And I guess I'm here today to say to you that you need to support your unions. You need to be active in your unions. You need to be a member of your professional association. It has never been more important. You need to speak out to people who are fighting amongst themselves and trying to fracture this profession. We need to support RNAO. RNAO needs to support us, and we do. We need to be very public as members about our support of different groups. The individuals who have said, I'm going to try, even if we think that their methods might be a little bit out there, we need to support them. Certainly one of the individuals recently who's got a lot of followers and maybe has some people, not herself, but some people who have talked rather disparagingly about professional associations. I actually contacted her to support her because I thought, you know what, you're not doing things exactly what we're doing, but you're doing something. You're doing something, and I'm a nurse and you're a nurse, and I'm going to support you. And that's the way it is. And I urge you to become a member of your professional association, regardless of your category of nurse, to work together to support all of the nursing groups and individuals who are trying hard to change this. None of us have impacted this problem yet. Nobody has been successful. And why? Because we're not in it together. And so I urge you to do what we're doing, supporting others, to lifting up all of the other nursing groups and helping the other nursing groups become everything that they can be, and sharing. We all have the same problem that we're dealing with. So I'm asking you to become that nurse who supports. Actually, Karima said there's 150,000 of us. We should be a very powerful group. I've so appreciated you saying that, Karima, if you're still with us. I just wanted to say that I've noticed a slide into more attacking of each other as opposed to the cohesiveness, and we need to fix that. Okay, let's move on to education and practice resources. Our education department is like a hive of bees. I mean, my office is just down the hall from them. I can tell you it's like a hive of bees. There's so much going on there that sometimes I'm in meetings and they'll be talking about where they're at with a certain program, and I think I didn't even know. I didn't know we were doing that program because there is so much going on. So I'll just give you a rough idea, quick overview of what's going on. Monthly webinars with thousands of participants, infection in prevention and control, a course that is open to all nurses, particularly RPNs, and that course is now accredited by the Canadian Nurses Association. That course was developed by specialists in IPAC, and it is a high-quality course. The Career Directions Toolkit, used so frequently, students and new grads who we launch off into the workplace with a new grad workshop, etc. So I just want to thank our education department for being so incredibly amazing about that. This past year, we saw the beginning of the Begin program, which is particularly meant to retain PSWs in the system by supporting their education to become an RPN, and RPNs in the system by supporting their education to become an RN, should they so choose. That program is a $100 million program over 4 years from the government to support people by paying their tuition for a return of service in long-term care and home and community home and community care. An incredibly important program. There's a lot of you out there, though, that say, but I'm not interested in bridging. I'm either already an RPN or I'm an RPN who doesn't want to bridge to RN. So what's in this for me? Well, the good news about this program for you is that when a lot of the NEI money, the money that you can apply for continuing education, was shared among you and students who were taking RPNs who were taking university courses. RPNs could choose their own direction, and they would be supported by these government dollars, NEI. And now that we have the Begin program of supporting RPNs to BSCN, that has freed up a lot of money for your continuing education, and you're going to find that the money stretches a lot further. And I encourage you to go out there and take every course that you're looking to take, because the chances are much higher, not guaranteed, but much higher that you'll receive funding for those courses. We have a lot of work we do in the professional realm of nursing. We engage in Nursing Week in ways that we provide professional education and support, but mostly recognize that nursing is a unique profession of service, but high academic scholarship. Practical nurses today are incredibly knowledgeable people, and we're working hard to make sure that that is clear. We have a mentorship program where those very nurses who are highly experienced and knowledgeable pair up with a new grad or someone new in some area and mentor them through their growth in that area. We have an ambassador program where nurses who wish to turning of the page, who wish to support the work of WeRPN and the networking of RPN within their workplaces. We have a lot of ambassadors out there on various organizations and schools. One of the most interesting things that happened this year was our research department. I want to tell you a little bit about it. We implemented a 3-year research plan. Why did we do that? We did that because there's not a lot of research about RPNs. In fact, people are generalizing research that happened in the United States over to Canada, which makes no sense at all, because the LPNs in the United States have about half the length of education of RPNs in Ontario. So our first step was to say you need to stop looking at LPN research from other jurisdictions, and we need to research our own practical nurses. So now we have a great deal of research happening. We've developed the inaugural Research Advisory Council, which is made up of representatives from university and college academics, RPNs, patient and family representatives, and WeRPN board members and staff. We have quarterly research webinars. We have a course that we're offering for RPNs who might be interested called Demystifying Research. And one of the most amazing things that we've done in our research department is that when people apply for a research grant and it's scored, and the ones that are awarded a research grant are strongly advised to have an RPN on their research team, and we finance fellowships for RPNs to be paid while they take part in the actual research project itself, giving RPNs the opportunity to be recognized as researchers right within our category of nurse. Last year, we had an amazing group of award winners. We've got an amazing group for tonight. Actually, just incredibly remarkable tonight. You're going to hear those shortly. Last year, I just want to say that I just want to mention the names of people that won last year because it's part of our annual report. Holland Bloorview Kids was awarded the Employer Award of Excellence. They let me come there every now and then. Most remarkable place in the world. I'm not going to go into detail. I'm just going to tell you, if you get a chance, go. I'd love to work there in another life. Cheryl Latondras won our Preceptor Award of Excellence. Our preceptors of our student nurses are incredibly important. Samantha Deisman won our Award of Excellence in Innovation. Cassandra Kars won the Michael and Werner Giedlinger Award for Palliative Care. Kimberly Newman won the Excellence in Care of Older Ontarians. Lee Chapman, our federal chief nurse now, won our President's Award, and the wonderful Dr. Isaac Bogosh, I think it's Bogosh, who is, you'll see him on TV. He won an honorary membership with WeRPN because of the fact that when he realized there was no RPNs on the immunization team in Ontario, he took it upon himself to call each of us and say, do you want to meet every Monday? And I'll tell you everything you need to know. What busy infectious disease doctor in the middle of a pandemic says, I'm going to spend every Monday morning at 8 a.m. with the nursing leaders in Ontario? Incredible. And finally, as I finish, I want to recognize the staff and the board of WeRPN. First of all, the board. Our board, our organization is board-led. They are my boss. The people elected by you are my boss. I rely on them for everything from comfort when I'm beside myself because things aren't good in the world of nursing and that hurts, to advice when I don't know what to do next. And particularly our president, Suzanne Schell, who just was always we meet every week and at the other end of the phone, and I'd say, what would nurses want me to do right now? And she is absolutely my best advisor. And I don't think it hurts to point out to you on a regular basis that I report to RPNs, solely to RPNs in this province. And I think that's an important thing you need to know. And the WeRPN staff. It took me a while. I've been here for a number of years, but I've assembled the best group of staff ever in existence. They make my everyday incredibly easy. They have all the talents I don't have because I'm smart enough to hire people who are good at the things that I'm not good at. And the reality is that they make the offerings of this organization happen every day, and they have my deepest thanks. And with that, I take your questions.
So the first question, Diane, for you is, what do you think needs to happen in order to attract nurses back to the workplace?
Okay, it's pretty straightforward. You have to look at why they left, and then you have to fix it. So it's a little different for every sector. I will say that. For example, long-term care, we need to not just have enough staff in long-term care. We need to change the roles into real nursing roles, the kind you get to do in a hospital, where you can assess your patients, decide what needs to happen, implement that care, and then follow up on it. We need that in long-term care, along with the right number of nurses. Nurses find it very frustrating to not be able to provide that kind of care that they're educated to do. Anywhere that short staffing has been normalized, absolutely, we have to walk into our units every day as a manager, any of you that are managers out there, and say, this is not normal. I understand we're asking you to take care of double the amount of patients, but every day we need to say, this is not normal. And I know how hard this is, what you're doing, and I'm going to work to do it. I was really surprised when I heard a politician say that it might be because nurses are taking vacation that we're so short. And I just want to say vacation is normal. Working shorthanded is not. And normalizing the short staffing because of something that should be normal but is treated as abnormal, taking vacation, we need to solve those problems. Most importantly, we need to solve the fact that nurses are, particularly RPNs, are not paid anywhere in the vicinity of what they can make somewhere else doing something that is far less pressurized. The nurses that are working in our system are there because they love what they do and they love their patients, because we are not rewarding them very well right now. We're going to work really hard to see the end of that. And I do believe that 2023 will see a difference in that. Bill 124 will expire, and all of us collectively as nursing groups will do our best to find answers to that.
There's another question here for you, Diane. How do you think RPNs can best advocate for themselves to help achieve this pay? Is it work refusal? Is it documenting poor work conditions?
Wow. That's a really good question, whoever asked that. That's an incredibly good question. You know, if our job wasn't taking care of patients, the answer to that's obviously going to be really easy. Everybody just needs to say, I'm not doing that today. The problem is that all of us walk in, we see patients at risk or suffering, and we just do what needs to be done because that's the way our minds work. And I would never ask a nurse to stop doing that. I would ask nurses to advocate for themselves with their leadership, to say things like, or to the Minister of Health, and say things like, vacation isn't abnormal. Vacation's a very normal normal and necessary part of work. That's not causing a nursing shortage in Emerge in Chesley. That's just not happening. This is about something else. We're not the cause of the problem, and us taking vacation is not the cause. So make sure you advocate with your leadership by making sure that you push back against normalization. But what you must never do is when a float nurse comes to help you, or when you usually have one kind of nurse and you get another, or whatever, never take your frustration out on them.
So we'll move on with no further questions. Thank you, Diane.
Thank you so much for your questions. Please remember that you can call or write to me anytime you want, and I'll take your questions. So the next Facebook Live will be happening in November. I don't know the exact date, but please bring your questions there.
Thank you so much, Diane, for everything. I will now ask Angela Cornell, Member at Large, to present the results of the vote of the financial report year ending June 30th, 2022.
The 2021-2022 audited financial statements are available in your virtual delegate packages and were posted on the members-only section of the WeRPN website. Members were asked to vote to accept the audited financial statements for the 2021-2022 fiscal year. Approval was received by the voting members to accept the audited financial report for the fiscal year 2021-2022. I will now move on to the next item on the agenda, the appointment of auditor for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2023. The board has recommended that the firm of HGK and Partners LLP, Chartered Professional Accountant, be appointed auditor for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2023. Members were also asked to vote for the appointment of HG&K Partners LLP, Chartered Professional Accountant, as auditor for the fiscal year ending June 30th. Approval was received by the voting members for the appointment of the firm, HGK and Partners LLP, Chartered Professional Accountant, as auditor for the fiscal year 2023 ending June 30th.
Thank you so much, Angela. I will now ask Victoria Bertrand, Director, Region 2, to present the report for the bylaw amendments and resolutions.
The next item on the agenda is the bylaw amendments and resolutions. I will now report on this year's proposed bylaw amendments and resolutions. There is one resolution put forth by the Board of Directors. Resolution number 1, membership fees. Membership fees shall be such an amount or amounts as may, from time to time, be fixed by resolution of the Board of the Association and ratified by the members by majority vote at any annual or special meeting. Annual membership fees for all other categories will be determined by the Board, but may not exceed that set for the regular members. The annual membership fee shall be due on July 1st of each year unless the member has selected another payment option which has been approved by the Board. New proposed membership fee. Whereas the inflation of costs to offer PLP are now anticipated to potentially interfere with the delivery of services, new RPN public awareness programs, and increased advocacy and response to current issues, be it resolved that the Registered Practical Nurses Association of Ontario, WeRPN, raise the annual membership fee by $35.42 on regular annual membership, effective the 2023-2024 fiscal year. Members were asked to vote on raising the annual membership fee by $35.42 on regular annual membership, effective the 2022-2023 fiscal year. Approval was received by the voting members to increase the annual membership fee.
Thank you, Victoria. I will now ask Lindsay Pentland, Chair of the Nomination Committee, to present the nomination report.
All members were notified about the call for board nominations for Regions 2, 4, 6, 7, and Member at Large through a variety of communication channels. WeRPN posted the notifications on the association website and communicated through email and social media began on May 26th. Electronic notifications were sent on May 26th and July 12th. The call for nominations were also included in the spring issue of the We Are Practical Nursing Journal. Publications to social media started on June 15th and then once a week after that until July 13th. An additional email was sent for student board nominations on September 13th. I am pleased to share that the results of the board recruitment representatives for Region 2 and 4 were acclaimed. We will be welcoming Deanna Clatworthy to represent Region 2 and also Angela Corneal to represent Region 6. No nominations were received for Regions 4, 7, and Member at Large. Congratulations to Region 2 and 6 representatives for the 2022 to 2024 years. The final position is the student ex officio, appointed by the Board of Directors for the year of 2022 to 2023. Danielle Heemstra from Fanshawe College will be your student board member. Congratulations to all the representatives and thank you for your nominees, or thank you to all the nominees for putting themselves forward as candidates. That completes the nominations.
Thank you, Lindsay. And it's now my pleasure to introduce the WeRPN President for 2022-2024 and to pass on the chain of office. Dickon Worsley. Congratulations.
Thank you. Wow. Oh, thank you, Suzanne, for the introduction. We have been so fortunate to have you have your leadership, guidance, and service as a member of the board and president of WeRPN. I've been blessed in getting to know you personally, and I thank you for your friendship and the opportunity to learn from you. You demonstrate strength and balance with your family life, incredible flexibility as you are floated to areas of greatest need, the care you show your students, and still take time for yourself and have fun, and at times get onto the water. You started your presidency in a time of unprecedented crisis that continues today. Thank you for your support, stewardship, and dedication to WeRPN, the staff, and the RPNs of Ontario. To the membership, I look forward to serving you as president for the next 2 years. And Diane, I look forward to working with you and the board of directors as we support Ontario's RPNs. I am proud of our accomplishments, and I look forward to an exciting future. Thank you.
Thank you, Dickon. I now have the honor of presenting the 2022-2023 Board of Directors. Dickon Worsley, President, serving until 2024. Region 1, Lindsay Pentland, serving until 2023. Region 2, Deanna Clatworthy, serving until 2024. Region 3, James Philby Richards, serving until 2023. Region 4 is vacant. The position serves until 2024. Region 5, Sharon Hunter, until 2023. Region 6, Angela Corneal, serving until 2024. Region 7 is vacant. The position serves until 2023. Member at Large is vacant. Position serves until 2023. And Student Board Member Daniel Heemstra until 2023. And myself, Suzanne Schell, your past president until 2023. Ladies and gentlemen, your new Board of Directors for 2022-2023. At this time, we would like to recognize our outgoing directors for the service and commitment they provided to WeRPN. I want to thank you, Region 2, 6, and our student member. Region 2, Victoria Bertrand. Region 6, Deborah Cowie. Lydia Mead, student ex officio member. At this time, is there any other business that needs to be raised? Any other questions? If so, please share your comments in the Q&A box and our moderator will read them.
At this time, Suzanne, there are no questions.
Okay. I now officially adjourn the 64th Annual General Meeting of the Registered Practical Nurses Association of Ontario. Thank you, everyone, for your time, input, and commitment. I will pass the floor back to Diane Martin so we can begin the Awards of Excellence.
Thank you, Suzanne. We now have the pleasure of kicking off one of my favorite elements of our celebration, the WeRPN Awards of Excellence. These awards are an opportunity for our association to showcase and celebrate excellence in nursing across Ontario, and there's so much of it. Every year during Nursing Week, we open our call for nominations for exceptional and dedicated nurses who go above and beyond the call of duty. We are always inspired by the stories of the amazing work that RPNs are doing across every corner of the province. This year, once again, we received numerous well-deserving nominations. Our selection panel goes through a rigorous evaluation process where nominations are first blinded, then reviewed by a team and scored. We are proud to present 9 awards this year, including 3 new categories. They are presented to incredible individuals and organizations who are contributing to excellence in the nursing profession. I'm pleased to start the ceremony to honor these incredible nurses. We will begin by describing the award and playing a short video. Then the recipients will have an opportunity to address the assembly, either live or through a recorded video. I am pleased to introduce our first award, which is the 2022 Award of Excellence and Innovation. The WeRPN Award of Excellence and Innovation is sponsored by Johnson Insurance and is presented to an RPN who has contributed in a significant way to the profession and or practical nursing in Ontario, whose efforts have been demonstrated by exemplary nursing practices. Please cue the video.
The Award of Excellence and Innovation is presented to an RPN who has contributed in a significant way on an ongoing basis to the profession and/or practical nursing in Ontario, and whose efforts have demonstrated exemplary nursing practice. The 2022 recipient has been an RPN for 15 years, where she practices in an inpatient stroke rehabilitation program and has experience in the long-term care sector. She demonstrates exemplary leadership and evidence-informed practice on a day-to-day basis. She consults evidence-based resources, bringing forward new ideas and encouraging her nursing colleagues to follow suit. She always uses the most accurate, up-to-date resources to teach her patients the relevant skills and to facilitate their self-management. An example of this is when she seized the opportunity to use her nursing skills in a new way by participating as a member of the research team for the research study, Building Capacity in Rehabilitation Services, mapping rehabilitation nursing care practices of the registered practical nurse in stroke and geriatric rehabilitation units. This study was undertaken to examine the contributions of RPNs to the care of stroke and geriatric rehabilitation patients. She's an exemplary role model of professionalism and demonstrates strong interpersonal and communication skills, both with her patients and her coworkers. She encourages others to reflect and strive to achieve excellence in their clinical practice. Her energy and positive attitude towards participating in research have inspired her nursing colleagues to consider the importance of nursing contributions to the field of research. As put by one of her nominators, she has shown exceptional curiosity, enthusiasm, great pride, and passion for promoting the rehabilitation nursing role and continues to be a role model for her nursing colleagues in doing the same. She brings similar energy and enthusiasm to exploring new ideas and possibilities. With that, it is an honor to present the 2022 WeRPN Award of Excellence and Innovation to Christina Khan.
Congratulations, Christina. Christina is here with us tonight and would like to say a few words. Christina.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me here tonight. It is truly a great opportunity to be a part of this. I'm truly blessed. I want to thank my organization, Parkwood Institute, St. Joseph's Healthcare London, where I work as a full-time stroke and neurological rehab nurse. Thank you again to WeRPN for this amazing opportunity. The research team that I was able to work with was amazing. They taught me so much. I have learned so much, things that I never thought I would know before. I have greatly expanded my knowledge on that. Thank you to Dr. Denise Connolly, Nancy Snoblin from WeRPN, Angela Nugan, who was my research partner, where we traveled around together to go to multiple different hospitals to observe and do interviews with RPNs to see the contributions. And everyone else that was part of that research team, thank you so much. Thank you to Jen Kelper, who also gave me a lot of support during the research process. Of course, to my family, my friends, my coworkers, everybody's been a huge blessing in my life. This has been an opportunity, like I said, that I never thought I would have. So thank you very much. I am truly blessed to receive this award.
Wow, she's a great example of the brilliance that lives within RPNs here in Ontario. So thank you, Christine. The next award is the 2022 Preceptor Award of Excellence. The Preceptor Award of Excellence is bestowed upon an RPN in recognition of outstanding contributions as a role model for a practical nursing student. This award recognizes the role of preceptor in providing guidance to a student entering the practice setting by creating a positive learning environment that allows the student to expand their knowledge and skills and successfully integrate nursing theory into practice. Please play the video.
The WeRPN Preceptor Award of Excellence recognizes and honors a registered practical nurse that has contributed in a significant way as a role model for a practical nursing student. This preceptor is described as someone who is committed to the role and supports students to learn, thrive, and grow, even when the unit is short-staffed. She is able to engage students using creative ways of teaching to make learning fun, helping to apply theory into practice. At Niagara Health, she creates a positive and healthy learning environment for students, and the nominator says, "I have learned so much because she is very patient and very supportive. She takes time to explain things and makes sure that I understand. She considers her students' needs, background, and culture to support their success." This preceptor ensured that every new clinical skill, even those uncommon for students, were experienced. As a nursing student with anxiety, past trauma, and English as a second language, the nominator shared that she struggled to get to the point of her clinical placement. Her preceptor focused on the nominator's strengths. She had a willingness and commitment to the student-preceptor relationship, recognizing the unique needs of each student and dedicating the necessary time to support and enhance the student learning experience. This partnership began with job shadowing, then an assignment of 1 to 2 patients with supervision, and gradually increasing up to 7 patients, empowering the student and building confidence. The nominator describes this preceptor as a legend, going above and beyond, demonstrating outstanding competence in the practice setting, meeting the CNO standards. She is a role model, demonstrating professionalism and compassion, always putting her patients first, treating them with respect and dignity. She acts as a client advocate, using non-judgmental, knowledgeable therapeutic communication to support clients and their families. The nominator shared that she was inspired and was fortunate to witness a lot of nursing practice and aspire to be like the preceptor one day. And so, it is an honor to present the WeRPN 2022 Preceptor Award of Excellence to Kathy Case.
Congratulations, Kathy. Kathy has provided us with a recorded acceptance. Can we please play that video?
I'm very humbled and honored to be accepting the Preceptor of the Year award through WeRPN this year. Being a preceptor is very important. We need to teach the next generation of nurses. It's been very challenging these last 2 years for the students. Some of them haven't been able to get clinical experience. Some of them have only been practicing in a lab. When they come to us, we basically have to start from the bottom and build them up between the practical, the critical thinking, and the hands-on experience. We really need to reinforce this and create the foundation to have a successful nurse. Don't forget, we'll be the ones that are going to be needing nurses in the future. So again, thank you so much. It is an honor and a privilege to be able to be a nurse and a teacher. Thank you.
Kathy is also attending tonight, I believe. So can we just spotlight Kathy? Congratulations, Kathy. And thank you. I'm so pleased now to be able to present a new award this year, the 2022 Award of Excellence in Mental Health. The WeRPN Mental Health Award of Excellence, sponsored by TELUS Health MyCare, will be presented to an RPN who has contributed in a significant way on an ongoing basis within the area of mental health in Ontario and whose efforts have demonstrated exemplary nursing practices, innovation to enhance patient experience, and promotes mental health awareness and supports supportive care. Please play the video.
The WeRPN Mental Health Award of Excellence, sponsored by TELUS Health MyCare, recognizes a registered practical nurse who has contributed in a significant way within the area of mental health in Ontario, and whose efforts have demonstrated exemplary nursing practices, innovation to enhance the patient experience, promotes mental health awareness, and provides supportive care. As an RPN at Belleville in Kinty West Community Health Centre, the nominator describes this nurse as continually showing excellent patience, compassion, and active listening while treating all patients equally and empathetically. She is a role model for nurses and is the first to advocate for patients when decisions need to be made at an organizational level. The nominator describes her competence in mental health care as having the ability to de-escalate situations almost immediately. The tension of a situation is diffused when she arrives, as the relief is seen on a patient's face is not something that words can describe. The patient experience is often overlooked when treating those with mental illness. Patients always have a good experience when interacting with her. There are a number of ways the recipient has demonstrated exceptional care in mental health. She actively listens to her patients' concerns. She promotes mental health awareness by pointing out local resources, such as the Community Health Center's social workers. She reassures patients by telling them they can come back to her with any questions. She demonstrates professionalism by maintaining patients' privacy and dignity. She creates smooth transitions for patients coming into the center by creating a safe space. It is for these reasons that it is an honor to present the WeRPN Mental Health Award of Excellence for 2022 to Tanya Strong, RPN.
Congratulations, Tanya. Tanya is part of our audience, so can we spotlight Tanya? Congratulations, Tanya. I'm pleased now to invite Annette Weers, WeRPN Senior Director of Professional Practice and Research, to present an award that we have that is sponsored by Annette and her family.
As the family sponsoring the award, I am pleased to introduce the Excellence in the Care of Older Ontarians Award, also known as the Martha Award, in honor of Martha Thumler, our great-grandmother, an older adult and an exceptional woman who died unnecessarily from hospital-acquired infection. And we want this award to celebrate the dedication of an RPN who provided exceptional care to our beloved older Ontarian in a manner that is respectful, compassionate, professional, and exemplifies nursing excellence. Let's learn more about this year's recipient. Can you please play the video?
The WeRPN Excellence in the Care of Older Ontarians Award, also known as the Martha Award, recognizes and celebrates an RPN who provides exceptional care to our beloved older adults and has made exceptional contributions in a manner that is respectful, compassionate, professional, and exemplifies nursing excellence. The Martha Award is dedicated in memory of Martha Thumler, who lived 97 meaningful and precious years, and is sponsored by her family to recognize exceptional care provided by an RPN, acknowledging their focus on the improvement of safety and well-being of older Ontarians by demonstrating knowledge, innovation, and leadership. This year's recipient is described as an extraordinary nurse who exemplifies what it means to be a nurse leader in long-term care. This RPN spent her entire career in long-term care and became the Associate Director of Clinical Services at Park Lane Terrace in Paris, Ontario 3 years ago. This nurse gives 110% all of the time. She is engaged in continuous learning, taking numerous additional courses, and is always focused on enhancing her role. The nominator describes how the recipient takes her time with residents and can often be seen having a friendly chat with them in her office or helping them with tasks like ordering items online. She supports resident-centered care, collaborating with team members and families to ensure residents' needs are a top priority. She advocates for the utilization of all possible resources to address their needs. This recipient is described as someone who has an impact on the entire home and cares wholeheartedly all of the time. During the pandemic, she is said to have done everything possible to ensure that COVID-19 had a minimal impact on the provision of care. As a supportive, engaged leader, she builds relationships with staff so they feel comfortable discussing care strategies, resulting in open communication, staff investment in their roles, and personalized care for residents. This RPN is always seeking the best for her residents, and it is with great pleasure to announce the recipient of the 2022 Care of Older Ontarians Award, Amber Potter, RPN.
Amber was unable to attend tonight and has pre-recorded her acceptance. So could we please play her video?
For those of you that don't know me, my name is Amber Potter, and I'm an RPN in the Associate Director of Clinical Services role at Park Lane Terrace Long-Term Care in Paris, Ontario. I'm also the recipient of the 2022 WeRPN Excellence in the Care of Older Ontarians Award. I'm honored to accept this award, but before I can, I need to acknowledge those that helped me become the nurse I am today. It was 5 years ago that Park Lane Terrace took a chance on a new nurse, and I was immediately welcomed in by a team that fostered growth. I got to work alongside nurses who never hesitated to share their knowledge, help me build confidence in my skills, and provide an example of the types of nurses that long-term care needs. I was quick to learn that the PSWs held the key to ensuring that my job was done and done well. They leave everything at the front door to ensure that each resident is cared for with dignity, respect, and love. The environmental, dietary, and programs teams play an integral part in resident life, and they continue to awe me with their dedication for going the extra mile. 2 years into my career, I took a chance on an opportunity that put me in the ADOCS role to work alongside a team of managers who prioritize resident-focused care. I've witnessed them work the front lines without hesitation, whether it is acting as a nurse on the units to serving meals or leading programs. They identify the work that is needed and face it head-on, all while continuing to work the duties within their own roles. Special thank you also needs to be said to Jessica Marcotte. Jessica is our Director of Clinical Services here at Park Lane Terrace. She's been here since I stepped into my management role, and she is also the person who nominated me. Jessica is the type of nurse and leader you strive to be. Her kind words in my nomination not only mean a lot, but are also reflective of the type of mentor she's been thus far. So although I may be accepting an award that bears my name, know that it is not solely earned by me. It is earned each and every day by every person that has contributed to where I am today. So thank you.
Thank you to Annette and your family, and also congratulations, Amber. I'm now would like to welcome our very wonderful past president, Gabriel Bridle, and the award sponsor to introduce our next award.
Thank you, Diane. I'm honored to introduce the Michael and Werner Geidlinger Excellence in Palliative Care Award for my sons, who I miss so much every day. In the honor of the memory of my sons, Michael and Werner, whose lives were lost too soon, this award recognizes the unique character and tremendous care delivered to patients at the end of life by an RPN. The recipients' efforts demonstrate exemplary palliative care competencies that optimize quality of life and help families cope during illness and bereavement. Let's learn a bit more about our recipient. Please play the video.
The Michael and Werner Geidlinger Excellence in Palliative Care Award is presented in memory of Michael Geidlinger and Werner Geidlinger, whose lives were lost too soon, and recognizes the unique character and tremendous care delivered by RPNs to patients at the end of life. Specifically, this award celebrates an RPN who demonstrates specialized knowledge and understanding of the philosophy of palliative care and delivers exceptional, compassionate, and therapeutic care to their patients. This year's worthy recipient is an RPN at the Espanola and Area Family Health Team. Entering practice in 2017, the nominator describes this nurse as someone who showcases a passion for palliative care by demonstrating great leadership and communication with the team. One of her nominators stated that she can clearly and articulately explain to patients and caregivers the role of a palliative care approach and how this can be beneficial to them not only at the end of life, but throughout their illness journey. Her understanding is demonstrated by her focus on the individual person's goals and ensuring the full palliative team is aware of and aligns their care with this. The recipient clearly understands the complexities of palliative nursing and takes time to focus on the individual to ensure the best care is being provided by the entire team. The nominator also states that the nominee provides optimal care by navigating them through their illness, sometimes from diagnosis to end of life. She makes sure that patients know what it means to complete goals of care and approaches this using a holistic physical, mental, and spiritual approach. She takes time to explain what things mean and reviews possibilities of what could happen so that they're prepared for almost anything. This nurse demonstrates dedication, compassion, and respectful care of the patients and families she works with. She is a most deserving recipient. It is our pleasure to She is a most deserving recipient. It is our pleasure to
Congratulations, Chelsea, and can we please spotlight Chelsea? Can you say a few words if you want to and just be acknowledged?
Hi, everyone. I'm extremely honored to be accepting such an important award, the Michael and Werner Geidlinger Excellence in Palliative Care Award. I'm truly grateful for this nomination, and I just want to thank WeRPN for hosting this ceremony today. I'm blessed and that I've been chosen for this award amongst all the other nominees, and I just want to express my gratitude for all the hard work that all nurses are doing during this pandemic. Winning this award wouldn't have been possible without the inspiration and support I have received from all of my colleagues from the Espanola and Area Family Health Team, as well as the Espanola and Regional Hospital and Health Center. I have the deepest respect for each and every one of you whom have guided me to become the nurse that I am today. So thank you very much. I'm lucky to have a career that is so rewarding, and I look forward to growing more and continuing to do some education and continuing my role as a registered practical nurse in palliative care. So thank you, everyone, very, very much.
Congratulations again, Chelsea.
Hi, everyone. It's come to my attention that I missed Tanya Strong, lovely Tanya Strong, who I talked to on the phone about this award. We've missed her acceptance video. If we could play that now. Sorry about that, Tanya.
It's an honor to receive the Award of Excellence in Mental Health, and I would like to thank the WeRPN Awards of Excellence Selection Committee for this award. I am truly blessed to be surrounded by family, friends, and colleagues that provide continuous support in my nursing journey as we learn and grow together. It has certainly been a roller coaster ride during the last few years in healthcare, as we RPNs work together in collaboration with healthcare professionals to provide excellence in patient care, enhance patient experience, and promote mental health awareness, supporting patients in our communities. I have never been prouder to be an RPN. Working at a CHC, we promote a welcoming environment to support minority populations, underrepresented clients, especially those experiencing homelessness, substance use, 2S LGBTQ+, and living with mental health challenges. Nurses support one another through listening, education, and reflective practice, because everyone truly matters. I am truly humbled to receive the Award of Excellence in Mental Health, and I am thrilled to celebrate this with all of you today. Friends, family, and with all the nurses and healthcare professionals throughout our province, I thank you.
Thanks, Tanya. The next award is the 2022 Employer of Excellence. I will show you the award. I do have it here. It's beautiful. And the individual awards are equally beautiful that everyone will be receiving. This award recognizes and honors an employer that has demonstrated outstanding achievement with improving the utilization of RPNs in innovative and caring ways, and creating multidisciplinary team environment for all healthcare workers. Maintaining safe and respectful and empowering a work environment where RPNs can work to the fullest extent of their knowledge, skill, and judgment. Please play the video on this year's recipient.
The vision of our recipient for the 2022 WeRPN Employer Award of Excellence is to earn complete confidence in the care they provide to make a lasting difference in the quest to live fully. This organization consistently seeks ways to advance the care they provide, especially through research initiatives. The organization is described as treating both staff and patients fairly and respectfully, and has fostered a compassionate, patient-centered care approach. Physicians, nurses, and clinical researchers at the organization work collaboratively with the Lawson Health Research Institute to help develop more positive outcomes for patients throughout the organization's settings, including hospitals, long-term care homes, and clinics. As a teaching facility working in collaboration with Schulich School of Medicine and Dentistry and the University of Western Ontario, the organization also supports other colleges and universities province-wide to provide clinical rotation experiences for nurses and medical students. The organization promotes the nursing profession as a whole by striving to adhere to the CNO standards of practice and provides opportunities for nurses to join the Nursing Council, where nurses collaborate to make decisions that enhance patient care, nurses' work life, and promoting a better environment for all. There are a wide range of opportunities, especially for RPNs, to join committees and working groups in various areas working with the interprofessional team. Some examples include nursing preceptorship and ethics, teams that help patients with goal planning to promote patient well-being, and opportunities for RPNs to engage in research activities. The nominator sums it up by saying, the beauty of this team is that everyone has the same outcome in mind, the benefits for our patients. WeRPN is proud to announce the 2022 winner of the Employer Award of Excellence to St. Joseph's Healthcare London Parkwood Institute.
Hi, I'm accepting this award on behalf of St. Joseph's Healthcare London Parkwood Institute Rehabilitation Program. My colleague Manny Pava, who is a leader of the program, is here, as well as a number of our staff are here. I'm thrilled to accept this prestigious Employer Award of Excellence. One of the important pillars of St. Joseph's mission is to earn complete confidence of our patients and families. And this is done by empowering our people and by valuing respect, compassion, and excellence. For years in our rehab programs, we have supported the utilization of the RPN role in innovative and creative ways. Our RPNs, Christina being our one shining example, have worked to their fullest potential and have contributed to the work of our interdisciplinary teams by supporting our patients to reach their optimal function throughout their rehab journey. We do have an amazing nursing team. Just recently, as was mentioned, we were so fortunate to participate in the research study that examined the contributions of RPNs to inpatient stroke and geriatric rehabilitation. Parkwood Institute has been a strong partner in our health science community, and we want to continue to collaborate, seek, and provide these exceptional opportunities for our frontline RPNs. We want our nurses to grow, to develop, and to continue to achieve excellence in their clinical practice, and to feel proud in promoting their invaluable rehabilitation nursing role. This is quite an honor to receive this award, and it will always be treasured and appreciated by our team. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and congratulations again. The next award is one of two new research awards. The first award is presented to an individual RPN who has contributed in a significant way on an ongoing basis to research in practical nursing in Ontario, and whose efforts have demonstrated evidence-informed nursing practice. Let's learn more about our first recipient of the first recipient's contribution to research. Please play the video.
The Award of Excellence in Research is presented to an RPN who has contributed in a significant way on an ongoing basis to research in practical nursing in Ontario, and whose efforts have demonstrated evidence-informed nursing practice. The inaugural recipient of this award, a registered practical nurse for over 12 years, has been an applications specialist in the practical nursing program at Conestoga College since 2015. She also worked as an RPN wound care and infection control lead at Schlegel Villages in Waterloo. The recipient is actively involved and plays an integral role in many research projects within the Canadian Institute of Seniors Care at Conestoga College. Described as a creative and continuous learner, she is eager to be involved in new research opportunities and brings a unique perspective to the research team. She has led and participated in several nursing-led projects and integrated best practice resources for nurses and personal support workers into the curriculum. The recipient received a WeRPN research grant in 2021. Co-leading a study with the Executive Director of the Canadian Institute for Seniors Care, she explored the role and experience of registered practical nurses in long-term care homes. As a co-investigator, she led the creation, conducted interviews with RPNs, and analyzed and presented findings in a World Cafe, and will have a scholarly publication in the fall of 2022. With eCampus Ontario funding, she was actively involved in the creation of the college's virtual simulation scenarios for PSWs and nursing students. She collaborated with researchers and partners implementing a prototype device called Buddy Badge that communicates to ceiling-mounted cones and wall-mounted gel and soap dispensers, providing gentle reminders to users to perform hand hygiene. Proven to show improved hand hygiene performance and reduce infection transmission, it is used in American and 2 Canadian hospitals. With her participation, it has been updated and is now being used in a long-term care neighborhood. She uses examples from the learning from her research projects to engage students in their learning and encourage students to participate in research opportunities wherever possible, because she believes it allows nurses to grow and further develop in their profession. And so, it is an honor to present the WeRPN 2022 Award of Excellence in Research to Sue Struth.
Congratulations, Sue. Sue is here with us tonight and would like to say a few words.
Thank you so much. I've got a little bit of a cold too, so I sound a little scratchy, so I apologize for that. I am unbelievably proud, humbled, and honored to be the recipient of the WeRPN RPN and Research Award for my involvement in the WeRPN funded research project exploring the role of the RPN in long-term care homes. I'd like to acknowledge my fellow nominees and thank them for their contribution, not only as an exemplary nurses, but also in the development of nursing research and best practice implementation. I would also like to thank Dr. Veronique Boskart, Michelle Heyer, Conestoga College and the Canadian Institute for Seniors Care for not only nominating me for this prestigious award, but for providing me with the opportunity to be involved with such a great team of individuals whose contribution and research plays an integral part in expanding the body of knowledge that supports and informs practical nurses in Ontario. I would also like to thank WeRPN for enhancing the role of the RPN by supporting, recognizing, and providing unique opportunities for practical nurses across Ontario. I'm a very proud RPN, and I'm honored to be a member of the WeRPN community. So thank you all again. I'm truly very blessed.
Thank you, Sue, and congratulations on being the very first recipient of this award.
Thank you.
Sorry. The next award is the second new research award, the Award of Excellence in Research Organization. The award is presented to an organization that has contributed in a significant way or on an ongoing basis to the creation, utilization, and or participation in research that supports or informs practical nursing in Ontario, and whose efforts have been optimized and or advanced evidence-informed RPN nursing practices. Please, could we see the video for this year's winner?
The Award of Excellence in Research for an organization recognizes an organization that has contributed in a significant way and on an ongoing basis to the creation, utilization, and participation in research that supports and informs practical nursing in Ontario, and whose efforts have optimized and advanced evidence-informed RPN nursing practices. This institute, located in Kitchener, Ontario, shares a vision to improve workforce development and strengthen care practices by developing innovative, evidence-informed education which will support care for seniors and their partners across Canada. According to the RPN nominator, this institute is an advocate for quality in healthcare system changes to optimize senior care in Canada. The nominator proudly describes how the organization promotes nursing research by collaborating and engaging in projects that enhance the care for seniors with nurses. Nationally, the Institute team has focused on resident-centered care and long-term care. Internationally, the Institute has collaborated with nurses and researchers from various healthcare sectors. Opportunities for RPN-led research are the fabric of this organization. The nominator, an RPN college faculty member, described how she was supported to co-lead a research study. The organization values the perspective of and soundly engages registered practical nurses in research. Specifically, all RPN nursing faculty, practical nursing students, and RPN clinical instructors are provided opportunities to collaborate in research, from research design to knowledge dissemination. As a result, the institution has co-authored numerous peer-reviewed publications. The Institute also values collaboration with nurses, listening to the perspectives of RPNs and students to enhance processes and further promote resident-centered care. Lastly, the Institute is committed to educating interested RPNs by inviting practical nursing students to become involved in conducting research as volunteer practical nursing students or hired research assistants. Finally, research knowledge translation, dissemination, and or mobilization is a key pillar to the mission of this organization. The team has received and led over 30 internal and 25 external grants, focusing on topics involving the care of seniors and their families and educating registered practical nurses and other members of the healthcare workforce. It is a pleasure to announce the recipient of the 2022 Organization Award of Excellence in Research to the Canadian Institute for Seniors Care at Conestoga College Institute of Technology and Advanced Learning.
Congratulations again. I would like to invite Veronique Boscard, representing the Canadian Institute for Seniors Care, to say a few words.
Thank you for unmuting me. Hi, my name is Michelle Heyer, and I'm the chair of Seniors Care in the Canadian Institute for Seniors Care. RPNs really hold a special place in my heart because I started out my career as an RPN in 2005. Dr. Boscart is actually unable to accept this award tonight because she's in the next room opening up the Canadian Association on Gerontology conference this evening in Saskatchewan. So on behalf of the Canadian Institute for Seniors Care and Conestoga College, I'd like to thank the Awards Committee for selecting us to win the Award of Excellence in Research. At the Canadian Institute for Seniors Care, our vision is to develop innovative, evidence-informed education, improve workforce development, and strengthen care practices to support care for seniors and their care partners across Canada. In June 2021, we were awarded the opportunity to collaborate with WeRPN, conduct research entitled Exploring the Role of the Registered Practical Nurse in Long-Term Care. Through this collaborative opportunity, we were able to explore the experiences of RPNs working in long-term care homes and to understand how to optimize the role of RPNs in long-term care. Through this applied research project, we've been able to shed the light on the experiences of RPNs, provide good quality care to residents in long-term care, and expand research knowledge to optimize training to enhance that role of the RPN. We thank you, WeRPN, again for providing us the opportunity to participate in this excellence in research and giving us this award. And thank you to our team at Conestoga College for all the great work you have done to support seniors and healthcare workers across Canada. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And please give our thanks. Go right next door and give our thanks to Veronique, because we do thank her so much for her part in this. Our final award is our President's Award, and I would now like to invite Suzanne Schell, our President, to present this award.
Hi. The President's Award is presented annually to an individual, group, or organization who has demonstrated outstanding commitment to furthering the recognition and utilization of registered practical nurses in Ontario. Let's highlight this year's winner in tonight's video. Please play the video.
The President's Award is presented annually to an individual, group, or organization who has demonstrated outstanding commitment to furthering the recognition and utilization of registered practical nurses in Ontario. Candidates are nominated by the President. This year's recipient is a nurse manager at the Enhanced Shelter Support Program Inner City Health Associates, also known as ICHA. Our recipient has been a registered practical nurse for a decade after graduating from Sir Sanford Fleming in Peterborough, Ontario. This recipient has previously worked in hospitals, community, and addictions clinics. Since the onset of the pandemic, she has worked for ICHA, caring for people experiencing homelessness and being affected by COVID-19. Responsible for the operational, clinical, and strategic oversight of the ICHA clinical services in several shelter hotels in Toronto, she recently completed a leadership course for healthcare workers with Sir Sanford Fleming College and is currently enrolled at Athabasca University's post-RPN Bachelor of Nursing program. Dr. Andrew Bond, Medical Director, is the most senior clinical executive at ICHA, to whom Shay reports directly. He shared that she has provided exemplary leadership through so many phases of ICHA's growth, first alongside Lee Chapman, and then continuing in her current role. She is so deserving of this recognition. Federal Chief Nursing Officer Lee Chapman stated, "I am delighted to hear that she is the recipient of this year's WeRPN President's Award. This is such a prestigious honor in recognition of her outstanding leadership in her role as clinical nurse manager with Inner City Health Associates. In my previous role as the inaugural Director of Clinical Services with ICHA, this recipient initially started as a staff nurse, was quickly promoted to charge nurse when her natural leadership talent became clear to staff, colleagues, and clients alike. She then embraced the leadership opportunity and additional responsibilities when she became manager. It was a pleasure to work with her, the duress of the COVID-19 pandemic notwithstanding, to see her leadership abilities continue to grow. She is a strong nurse leader who always balances clinical, strategic, and operational goals while maintaining staff safety, wellness, and satisfaction. Client care is always at the core of all decision-making. She is a wonderful asset to the nursing profession and is most deserving of this award." As the president of WeRPN, Suzanne Schell's decision was clear when she attended a webinar featuring Shay. She noted that as an RPN, her leadership stands out beyond her formal role as clinical nurse manager. It is critical for RPNs in Ontario to see and hear from other RPNs that are recognized as leaders. Shay is a perfect example of an RPN who has excelled in her leadership role. Shay is passionate, caring, and respectful for her clients. Her client population has been stigmatized for decades. As she speaks, it is clear that her compassion and respect for her patients is evident, and they are at the forefront of her practice. All of our patients, residents, and clients deserve respect regardless of race, religion, culture, or social status. Shay displays this to our most vulnerable. We are so proud of all of her accomplishments. She is an exceptional role model for all RPNs. And so, it is with great pleasure that we recognize Shay Martirino, RPN, as the recipient of the 2022 WeRPN President's Award.
Shay has shared recorded remarks. Can we please play the video?
Hello, my name is Shay Martirino. It is truly an honor to be selected as the recipient of WeRPN's President's Award. Throughout my career as an RPN, I have witnessed the strength, dedication, and competency of RPNs throughout the healthcare sector. As an RPN, I have advocated and created new innovative ways to optimize the role of RPNs, and am proud to see RPNs being recognized for the crucial roles they play. I am proud to be an RPN and want to say once again how truly honored I am to be the recipient of WeRPN's President's Award. Thank you very much. It truly means so much to me.
Thank you so much, Shay, and congratulations to you once again. You are so deserving of this award.
Congratulations, Shay. Thank you to all the recipients for your tremendous work and to all the nominators for helping us showcase excellence in nursing. This concludes our 2022 WeRPN Awards of Excellence ceremonies. It has been a pleasure to highlight these exceptional nurses and organizations. We know that Ontarians are in good hands when we hear these amazing stories of the RPNs providing excellent care every day. And we know it's not limited just to these nurses, but so many of you out there are making such a big difference. Please remember to take a few minutes to nominate an inspiring colleague or organization next year. I now have the honor of closing our evening event with our raffle draw, which is always a pleasure. So we have 3 prizes this evening. First of all, we have 2 WeRPN gift baskets. And congratulations to our winners, Julie Murphy and Rose Escapin, who both will be receiving a gift basket valued at $150. And finally, we're pleased to give away a $1,000 Flight Center gift card, courtesy of our generous sponsor, Johnson Insurance. And the lucky winner, who's going on a holiday, is Sally Newman. Congratulations to all of these lucky nurses. That concludes tonight's event. Thank you all so much for joining us. We hope that you enjoyed our AGM and award celebration, and we thank you again for the essential work that you do every day. We are honored to be your professional voice, and we look forward to continuing to stand up for RPNs. Finally, please take a few minutes to complete the evaluation for this event that's posted in the chat that helps us plan an effective celebration and AGM for next year. Good night, everyone.